Okay, welcome back to the channel. Yeah.
Longer shaft.
Yeah.
It's getting
Just
fancy.
just saying, some of us are a little bit more equipped than others. No, I'm hoping that this mic stand allows the mic to pick up my voice better. But we're going to be actually talking about what our next 90-day challenge is going to be. And if my voice sounds a little nasally, it's because I've had a head cold for the last 4 days, so I have been feeling really under the weather. So has Julia. What?
Oh, I was just picking on Jen.
Oh, okay. So that's what's going on with that. So I'm going to get straight into what my plans are. So I know I've been talking about I'm going to be focusing more on putting size for the rest of the year, but I've decided after looking back at it and thinking about it, and I'm not going to lie, like I saw the video and it just made a lot of sense to me. And the guy was basically saying like, if you don't have your abs visible yet, you're still too fat to bulk. He's like, you bulk whenever you're in like single digit body fat. And if you can't see your abs, there's no point in bulking because you're already bulked up. You're already fat. You don't need to keep bulking because you're already fat enough. And bulking when you're fat just doesn't make sense because you're just going to get fatter. And then when you go to cut to lose all that weight, any muscle mass you did lose, while on that bulk, any muscle mass you gained while on that bulk, you're just going to lose anyway. So there's really no benefit to bulking if you're already that heavy. So I figured I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of the year, all of September, October, November, December, to really focus on a hard cut. Now, from Monday to Thanksgiving is 88 days. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to do a intermittent fasting thing where I'm going to eat at 7, 9, noon, and 3 p.m. And I'm going to eat 2 pounds of meat a day and 12 ounces of rice measured dry. So whatever it swells up to, It comes out to right at 2,500 calories a day. And the reason why I'm choosing to do intermittent fasting is because I don't want to have to do a lot of cardio, because I just don't enjoy cardio, to be completely honest. It's not something I like to do like regularly, and plus it starts to bug my knees. So if I do 2,500 calories a day, I eat my last meal at 3, and then I work out at 4, and then from 4 to 6 I'm training. When I get done working out, any type of like insulin spikes, or there's no more insulin spikes, there's no more glucose spikes, there's no more nothing for the rest of the day. My body's depleted. I depleted everything in my muscles. So literally the rest of the day, now this is the logic behind it. I'm not saying this is how it actually works, but the logic is if I eat carbs before my workout, I'm going to use those carbs during my workout, and then the rest of the evening all the way through the night I'm going to be burning fat.
What's your fasting time?
It's going to be from 3 p.m. to 7 a.m. So it'll be 16-hour fast with an 8-hour eating window. So I'll eat from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then from 3 p.m. till 7 a.m.
Like what are your eating times?
At 7, 9, noon, and 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to go 2 hours between the first meal and then 3 hours between the rest of the meals. That's what I'm going to be doing. So that's going to be my goal. And I'm not going to say I'm going to have abs by Thanksgiving at 88 days because it never really ends up panning out that way. But I'm going to be a lot closer by the time I get there. So, and then hopefully by the rest of the year, I could get down lean enough to have my abs. Again, hopefully, fingers crossed. And if I could do chicken and rice for 75 days straight, I could do ground meat and rice intermittent fasting for 70. Though now, here's the biggest difference. I will be doing on Sundays, I'm going to be carb loading. So it will be a carb cycling style intermittent fasting. Because on Sundays, I am going to be getting, it's 215 carbs a day is what I'm going to be getting Monday through Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm going to be getting like 600 grams of carbs per day is what I'm going to be getting. So it will be a carb cycling, but just on the one day is when I'm going to overload on my carbohydrates.
Yep, it's pretty much what I'm doing too, but I'm eating different stuff. And I think we didn't really talk about my meal times. What am I going to be?
Whatever works for your schedule, for your work. If you want to stop eating in the evenings, or if you don't want to eat in the mornings, whatever you want your scheduling to be.
I feel like starting at 9 would probably be best. And then what, like 9 to 5, like normal, or 8 hours?
Yeah.
That's 9 hours, right?
9 to 5.
Yeah, because I work.
No, that's
That's
No,
8.
that's 8. Yeah, because I work 8 to 5. So,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, don't mind me. Math ain't math in the day.
So the funny thing is, they did a study on intermittent fasting with rats, and they showed that meal timing actually makes a difference. Now they redid another study with humans, so, and that kind of showed opposing data, but that's what science does. It's always debunking the last study and proving the new study wrong. And really what I think it is I think when they want to push an agenda, right, the study's going to show what they wanted it to show. But
Sure.
so when they did it with the rats, what they did was they took 2 groups of rats and they had them eat the exact same thing, exact same calories, the only difference is one group of rats, they fasted during their normal fasting time during the day when they were asleep. and then the other ones would fast whenever it was not their normal fasting times. So like they're nocturnal, so it's the opposite of us. So like the rats that were eating opposed to their normal feeding windows actually lost more weight. So it's like for us instance, like if we ate during the day, if I remember correctly, I might have just butchered that. So if we ate during the day and then stopped eating in the evening by like 5 o'clock, with a rat study, like those rats lost more weight. And then the other group that was eating at the other time of day, at their not their normal eating times, they didn't lose any weight. Like they didn't lose any weight at all.
So we should be eating at midnight, 3 a.m.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I can't. Man, this is months ago. I read the study. But anyway, so when the rats were eating, two groups of rats, the same exact calories. One would eat at their normal time, the other one would eat at their not normal time, and one group lost weight, the other one didn't. And then they did the study with humans, and they're like, okay, it doesn't matter what time you eat. Everyone lost the equivalent amount of weight. Whether you ate whether you fasted in the morning, you fasted in the evening, you fasted at night, didn't matter. As long as the fast was the same, the calories were the same, everyone generally showed the same amount of weight loss no matter what time of day they fasted. But with the rats, it was a huge difference, like a huge difference on body weight composition of how much the rats lost of what time of day that they normally fasted and stuff like that. So, and I wish I could remember which time of day it was, because I kind of messed myself up thinking about it. I should have read the study again before I came here and talked about it. But anyways, so that's why I'm going to fast in the evening times.
I fast in the evening too.
Yeah, I'm more hungry. Like in the mornings, I'm not hungry. So I like to eat in the mornings when I'm not hungry, because it keeps me from overeating. But in the evenings, when I am really hungry, I like to stop eating with intermittent fasting, because it prevents me from overeating. Because if I start eating in the evenings and I'm still hungry, I'm more inclined to eat, and I'm going to eat more because I'm already eating.
Yeah.
But if I stop eating, then I start getting hungry. I'm like, well, this is just part of it.
I've also noticed, like,
I don't know how that
from
works.
like watching videos and stuff now, that it seems the intermittent fasting thing, like everything swings, like you're saying and stuff.
Yeah, it's a pendulum.
Like, but like intermittent fasting, like it's been picking up a lot more with a lot of people. Like even like at my work, people come up and ask me questions about intermittent fasting and things like that. I'm like, yeah, you can do it. Like it works for a lot of people. Like originally, like I think most every person, when we were nomads, that's how they survived, was they fasted because food wasn't plentifully available. Food's just plentifully available now, kind of thing. But yeah, like guys at work will be doing 24-hour. One guy just recently did a 72-hour fast just because he's been watching and learning information and decided, you know what, that's what he was going to try. So he gave that a shot.
Oh my gosh.
And stuff. So it definitely works, and there's all sorts of information out there, like what health benefits and other things you can receive from it. Again, it's on a per person basis, I would think. Like you got to really check with somebody before you just start deciding to not eat for long periods of time, I would think. But yeah, like it definitely does work for probably the vast majority of people. I've done it as well. Like we did it many years ago, where all we did was, well, we were doing like frozen meals just because it was easy. Just pop them in pop them in the microwave, and just kept it at like 2,000 or 2,500 calories. Pop them in the microwave, ate whenever we ate, and like we were both losing weight when we did that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
And here's the thing too. What I've noticed. Do y'all want to add, or y'all want to throw anything out there?
I don't think so. Fasting to me sounds like death.
Fasting for me is I'm asleep and then I wake up and then I eat.
Yeah, I fast from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
So, excuse me. So, for me, what I've noticed whenever I intermittent fast, anytime I've ever done intermittent fasting is I always eat from like normally 9 to 5 because that fits my schedule. But now I'm going to eat from 7 to 3 because that fits my schedule. Now, but whenever I do it, if I keep around 2,500 calories a day, I work out 6 days a week or 3 days a week, whichever training style program weekly I was wanting to train, without doing any cardio, I would lose about 2 pounds a week. Every single week, I'd always lose about 2 pounds a week. So it's one of those things where like I started thinking about it. Hold on, I'm sorry, guys. I got allergies and everything's running. I'm sorry if that sounds awful and everything.
Yes.
So I know.
It sounded awful from here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So okay, so
I'll accept it.
lost my train of thought. Lost my train of thought.
intermittent fasting.
Calorie counting.
Yeah. So what I noticed when I was doing the chicken and rice diet is I was doing 40 minutes of cardio in the morning. I was doing 30 minutes of cardio in the evening. I was eating 2,500 calories a day, working out 6 days a week, and I was losing about 2 pounds a week on average. after the big initial spike, once I lost all the water weight and everything dropped, it is about 2 pounds a week on average. Now, normally, whenever I do intermittent fasting, I don't have to do any cardio, and I don't have to do any bizarre amount of cardio or any crazy times a day cardio or anything of the sort. I can just literally do intermittent fasting Monday through Saturday. Sunday have a cheat meal or two, and then every single week I was down 2 pounds, whether I was working out 3 days a week or 6 days a week. So I know for me it works great for losing weight. I'm not going to say it's great for bodybuilding or putting on muscle mass or strength, but I know for losing weight it works great. And since I decided I'm going to go ahead and push for abs by hopefully the first of the year, I'm going to go ahead and just run this, because it's pretty much what I'm already doing right now as it is. I'm already doing it. The only difference is I'm cutting out the very first meal of the day and the last meal of the day. That's the only difference of what I'm doing currently right now. And I'm doing about 3,200 calories a day right now. So by dropping by 1 pound of meat, just 1 pound of meat, I'm going to get down to around 2,500 calories, from 3,200 to 2,500 calories by just going from 3 pounds of meat a day to 2 pounds of meat a day. Carbs are staying the same. So I'm just basically taking 12 ounces of rice that I was eating throughout the day, condensing it to 4 meals, removing 1 pound of meat a day, which was the other 2 meals divided between the other 2 meals. And that's basically just a very small change is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to start gearing it more towards, like I said, weight loss instead of like putting on size. Because don't get me wrong, I wanted to put size on, and I have been. I'm 230. I put size on really quick, like a lot faster
That's
than
easy.
Right. Well, I was like 224, 222 not that long ago. And then I started eating the ground meat and rice. And don't get me wrong, I know it came off of a hard cut and I was expecting to gain some weight back. But doing ground meat and rice, 3 pounds of meat a day with 12 ounces of rice 6 times a day, I knew I was going to gain weight. I just didn't know I was going to gain it that fast, because I was like, okay, now I know, oh, you're eating 25. Oh, I was eating 2,600 calories a day when I was doing the chicken and rice. Now I'm doing the 3,200 calories. So how many calories is that? A bump from 26 to 32? 500?
6, 7, 6. I'm at 6.
Okay, I'm gonna do 2,600.
Math is hard.
Okay, 26. I'm gonna use the fingers. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32,
Look at the
600.
calculator.
Okay, me dumb meathead. Me pick heavy things up to pick heavy things up, right?
Put me on the spot.
Yeah. So
Nothing, nothing.
guys, I count in 45s. I count in 45 pound plates. Okay, it's 600.
Okay, 6 plus 4 is 10, so that's the.
We already figured it out. Did the fingers. I already did the fingers.
It's
There will be a
right?
different
Yes.
podcast later about adding
It's
and
like-
subtracting.
We're using the box method they use now.
Yeah, I'm
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
The new
600
math.
Yeah, so 600 calories. So I know if you lose 500 calories a day, every day, you'll lose about a pound a week, because there's 3,500 calories and 1 pound of fat. So if you are in a 500 calorie deficit each day, you lose about a pound of fat. So I was thinking, all right, I knew I was around 500 surplus. So I was like, that's about a pound a week. So going from like 220, 222 to 230, that's about 8 weeks worth of like working out and bulking and that surplus. No, it came on way faster than that. For me, my body was just like, suck it all up. And I was gaining like 2 to 3 pounds a week. So like I said, it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, all right, let me scale it back a little bit, because I know the white rice is different than the brown rice with the vegetables and the fibrous foods and everything else like that. And the calorie source is different than what I was eating. And white rice absorbs a lot easier. The insulin spikes are a lot harder. The more aggressive the insulin spike is from the simple sugars, the easier it is for your body to convert food into fat if you don't need it. And then the biggest kicker was, I knew this was a big no-no, but I was doing it anyways. But eating white rice right before bed, that's an insulin spike. And I was bulking, so I was like, that's part of my calories for the day. Calories in, calories out, laws of thermodynamics, doesn't matter. But I also knew eating carbs right before bed is one of like the worst things you could do for weight loss, because it's just going to literally turn to fat. I mean, it's just going to sit in your system and turn to fat. And then if you eat fats with carbs, it's easier for your body to absorb the fat into your fat. And your body's going to utilize the carbohydrates for energy, and then it's going to turn the fat into fat for stored energy for later on. So when I was eating red meat, the ground meat with a higher fatty content, with the white rice right before bed and then going to bed, it was like the worst thing I could do. It's like almost the whole meal, it felt like I was turning into fat to me and stuff like that. And I was hungry between meals. Hunger is not an issue for me, really, honestly. Well, okay, when I have a goal and I'm driven, hunger is not an issue.
It's an issue for me when you're hungry.
I think also, like, you're like keeping things simple. Like, the more simple you can keep it, the better it is for you. And I think with intermittent fasting, that helps you keep it as simple as it can be, because if you're cutting off your food at a certain time, like 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever it might be, and then you're not starting to eat until a certain time, that window, you eliminate a lot of the the questionable times. So like if you're prepping your meals, you prep your meals for your time at work and stuff like that. But then you might go like, well, when I get home though, I'll make my meal fresh. And day one, fresh is like, yeah. Day two, fresh is like, yeah. 3, 4. But like week 2, you're like, you know what? Like if I didn't have to cook this every night, that'd be a little better. So let me pre-cook some of these, and then let me not eat these and eat something else, kind of thing. So like having all your meals already made for the day that you eat in your window, and then after your window you're done with food till the next day. I think that helps you a lot too, because you don't have to worry about like, okay, I can possibly get talked into something else or changing something because the kids want something different or whatever it might be.
I definitely like having my meals ready, but it's different from what you're talking about because I don't have 6 meals yet.
Yeah. So like even like you haven't like tried the intermittent fasting yet, or you might not ever want to try it. But again, it's definitely worked for us before, and I think it
you're
does.
shaking your head, but just
I know.
just
gonna
wait.
have to.
It's a coming. Eventually, we're gonna get there.
Y'all pray for me.
And it's not as bad as you would think either. 'Cause if your last meal, you have that last meal, and then if you stay busy, for me, if I'm busy with stuff, I don't even really notice about it, like think about the food, or like I can't eat kind of thing. It's like, oh yeah, I'm done for the day or whatever. I'll stay busy doing whatever else it is. Like I got to work out, and then after working out, I got to do whatever else I have for the rest, like last 2-3 hours of the day, and then I go to sleep.
I'll be going to bed at like 8 o'clock.
So I'm asleep the bulk of it, and it's not really an issue. I get up in the morning, go to work, and by the time I get to work, okay, it's time
Plus,
to eat again.
I'm sure like once you get used to it, it's not a big deal anymore.
It's not.
Like
It's
once you're
getting
used
started.
to it, it's not. It's you don't even probably think about it. But yeah, the first like few weeks. Well, like I'm struggling on the first. I'm what 2 weeks into this now, and I'm obviously I'm still having struggles. But yeah, it's just like an adjustment period, like anything else.
Eventually,
I'd
it becomes
imagine.
normal, and then you feel worse. Like you feel way more like bad about yourself when you don't do what you're supposed to do. It's weird. Like,
Well,
even on the weekends when I was allowed to like eat other things, it would like mess with my brain. I was like, okay, I'm like counting. Like, okay, maybe if I skip this meal, I won't feel so bad if I eat this. And I probably did more damage than just.
well, I've noticed
Eating it.
that these last 2 weeks because every Saturday, I completely derail, and then I'm like, okay, I mean, whatever. I'll eat my 9 p.m. meal, and I'll be a little more careful throughout the day. Lies.
Excuse me.
And like last night for dinner, we went out. I ate late, and I ate macaroni and cheese for dinner. And I just felt like my stomach was this big, right? Because like the pasta and the dairy itself. And I was like, why did I do that? I knew it was. I mean, it was delicious, but I knew it wasn't going to make me feel good.
Yeah, it's breaking old habits. Like what you said. Once you get used to it, the biggest thing is seeing the sticking to it long enough to start seeing the results. That's the kicker, right? Once you start seeing the results, no matter what diet training program you're on, once you start seeing the results, that's when it becomes easy. It's going to be difficult until you start. When you see those first 3 pounds legitimately drop, and you're like, okay, the hunger was worth it. You know, hunger was that's 3 pounds. If I keep this up for another 12 weeks, that's X amount of weight. I'm not going to do the math again. It's like, you know, that's we'll just say 2 pounds a week for 12 weeks, 24. All right, let's do that.
Easy,
way.
that's easy.
You know, so it's 24 pounds in 12 weeks. It's like I could be hungry like this for and then the thing is too, like I said, well, for intermittent fasting, I like to structure it still like a bodybuilding diet. Like I'm gonna do a very simple structured meal. Some people like to do like if it fits your macros, or like they'll just calorie count. Like, okay, I'm gonna eat lasagna for this meal, and then pizza for this meal, and then a burger for this meal, and then I only have this many calories a day to eat. So you look at it like, okay, like shopping. This is the best way I can explain it. If the store opens up at 9 a.m. and it closes at 5 p.m. and then you only have $1,500 to spend, right? You can't start spending it until the store opens. And once the store closes, you can't spend anymore, because it doesn't matter if you still have cash left over, because at 5 o'clock, the store's closed, you can't eat.
Yeah.
And you only have $1,500 to spend. So once you spend your $1,500, regardless of what time it is, you're done spending your money. That's the easiest way to explain it. It's like shopping. It's the easiest way to explain it. So that's one way to view it and everything. But for me, I don't like to do that either, because like I said, what you said with the macaroni, bloated you, made you feel bad. And I feel like I could just get far greater results and more progress if I just stick to a very simple, structured meal.
You saying 24 pounds in 12 weeks? That's only 3 months.
Yeah.
Even 20 pounds in 3 months
You'd be happy
would be
with-
such a difference
Yeah.
on my body.
Yeah, it's a massive difference. And
Huge.
You just
it-
gotta do the work.
That
so.
that put a little twinkle in my eye. Yeah. Did y'all see it?
yeah. So we got to get you.
I thought it was perfect.
You were gonna say something? I
Like-
heard the
I saw this and I was like, okay, we're
The,
about to talk.
the diet,
yeah, it's coming.
warming up.
It's coming.
the diet thing though, like people, I think what makes it difficult for a lot of people too is when they think about the diet in general, they think about something that, okay, it has a start date and an end date, not as like going into it thinking of it's a habit, like you're changing a habit. Like your diet, you always have a diet no matter what, but making it into a newer habit that you continue with. So a
So
lot of
real
people,
quick, hold on. Do you know how long it takes to make a habit? Do you know how long it takes
I
to make
thought
a
it
habit?
was like 21 days.
No. It takes 90 days. It's normally 90 days to develop of
To
actually like,
make or break a habit.
Yeah, to install a new habit. Like if you're like, I'm gonna wake up at this time every day, or if I'm gonna start shaving at this time every day, or I'm gonna fix my hair at this time. It takes 90 days of consecutively every single day, day in and day out, to form that new habit to where it's not like a job no more.
chore.
Yeah, it's just something that you do. It takes 90 full straight days of doing that to actually develop like a routine mental habit and stuff like that. Sorry to interrupt. We keep going.
Bless you.
yeah. So yeah,
Bless
and building
Bless
that
you.
habit, like you're trying to get to that point to where it's a habit that you just have. So you don't have to look at those meals that are outside of that normal as the things you don't get to have anymore. Because no matter what, people are going to eventually eat those meals. Nobody's going to stick to the same basic foods always forever and never go outside those lines ever again, unless that's
Yeah, it's not
all
realistic.
they absolutely have, kind of thing. But if we live in a land right here of options for food, so when you're doing your
Okay.
diet, you stick to the diet, but everybody always wants to think about it like, okay, well, I can't ever have that again. He's like, no, you're gonna eventually get there to where you can have that stuff again. It's not like, okay, like pizza no longer exists.
Yeah.
But what if I die?
Or whatever.
Then
So then it doesn't matter either way. Like
Yeah,
it's no longer a worry.
Yeah.
Then you're on that permanent intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
You said intermittent fasting, you just fast.
You're just fasting.
Yeah, you dirt fasting.
and I get my Taco Bell and then like, you know.
Yeah. So
you just dirt fasting after that.
so the more you can look at it as, okay, I'm just trying to build a habit of making better decisions, making myself better in general. You'll eventually get to that point where you know how to keep yourself in that betterish area with having those outside, like the gray area meals and stuff, and being able to limit yourself still, not just go completely off the walls. Am I there? By no means. But I'm working on it and I'm getting closer.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It just takes time to build that habit, like you said. Like when people have the mindset of like, I'm never gonna get this again. It's like, no. The mindset should be, well, I can. I just don't want to right now. I can do whatever I want. You know, if I could literally, if I want to go to McDonald's, order 20 burgers and then rub them all over myself while I drive down the interstate, who's stopping me, right?
Yeah.
If I want to go get pizza and I want to walk down, go to a park and sit out and rub the pizza all over me on the park bench, right? Who's stopping me? I can literally do whatever I want. Like who's going to stop me? I'm choosing to do or to not do something, right?
Yeah.
At this given moment. Just like going out with friends or drinking and stuff like that. You could go out with your friends and you could choose to drink or you could choose not to drink if you're on a diet. You could choose to eat, you could choose not to eat if you're on a diet. It's up to you. The choice is always yours. And here's the thing about these things to lose weight are very simple. People try to overcomplicate them. You know what? We're going to talk about that in another podcast. I'm going to end this one right here because it's getting a little bit long. And I want to pick that up on the next episode and stuff like that because we're already at the 24-minute mark. So let's go ahead and kill this right here. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And we got our topic for our next one.
Bye.